Today I'm bringing you 4 rookies and a potential honorable mention somewhere in the video you're going to have to continue and watch that you should be drafting coming into the 2023 season. So let's get straight into it with my first player on my list, coming on a team that a lot of people don't love, and that is Zay Flowers, my wide receiver 41 in the community, my wide receiver 35. And one of the things I really wanted to bring up to you is the opportunity that Zay, in my opinion, is going to get. Yes, Rashad Bateman just came off the pup. OBJ is right now looking healthy, which is great. Mark Andrews is a true wide receiver 1. Where does Zay Flowers fit here? And now all these players I'm going to be bringing you are going to be some players that are going to help your team in the second half of the season. Help your team really form something as your team is progressing, and maybe players get injured, because this is my expectation with this offense. Rashad Bateman does come off the pup, but is he still 100%, or is he kind of just saying, you know what, I'm ready, coach, just put me in? You want to get some reps to show the team that you are 100%. OBJ coming off of 2 ACL tears. Is Odell Beckham really ready, being a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver? As much as I love OBJ, a Giants legend, no doubt about it, is he really ready? Mark Andrews, no doubt, is going to be the #1 target. But when you think of this offense, when you think of Lamar Jackson under center, when you think of how much he is a phenomenal player at extending the play, getting out of the pocket, avoiding pressure, avoiding those tackles, avoiding the sacks, what does he do? He has his eyes down the field. He has his eyes in the middle of the field. And who is always going to be there? Zay Flowers. When you think of this offense and why they drafted Zay Flowers, is because his shiftiness, his stop on a dime ability, his ability to find small spaces and pockets in the zone defense to get that separation from a man-to-man coverage. That is what Zay Flowers brings to this offense, and we saw that at Boston College, where he came out of. 78 receptions, over 1,000 yards, averaging 13.8 yards per catch, 12 touchdowns this past year. He's a 5'9", 182-pound wide receiver. Yes, the size is against him. But if you're looking at this year with the upside, if OBJ can't stay healthy, and I'll be honest with you, I expect him to miss at least 4 to 6 games. Rashad Bateman, I would say close. I really hope he doesn't. But I would say 2 to 4 games he's going to miss. There's going to be a span in the window where Zay Flowers is going to help you and bring these opportunities. Let's say you have a 2 wide receiver and 3 flex options in your league setup. Zay Flowers being that 5th flex option, I think is phenomenal, especially where he's going. Our latest mock draft, Zay Flowers went at the 7-11, OBJ went at the 8-9, Rashad Bateman went at the 9-1, essentially all in the same round when you really think about how close these guys are. But Zay Flowers is the person I truly believe has the highest upside based off his talent, his draft capital, and how they're going to be utilizing Zay Flowers coming into the 2023 season. So I love Zay Flowers coming in, and he's going to be somebody, a rookie specifically, that is going to help you and your team hopefully get to the championship. Before I get into my second play, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go to flogfantasy.com/land, the best place to support what Zach and I are doing here. Get 30% off I sign up using our promo code LAND. Rankings, articles, and bonus content, and so much more. My second player on my list is Zach Charbonnet. Yes, running back for the Seattle Seahawks. He's currently RB35 in the community on Underdog. He is my RB37 right now. And I think he's going to be continually moving up week by week when or if Kenneth Walker's status is going to be changing. What that's going to look like. Right now, we do know Kenneth Walker has a groin injury where he has suffered in the past, this past year, coming into the 2022 season. Now he is suffering with the same injury coming into this year, and groin injuries really do pop up. Now, one of my biggest things when I think about Zach Charbonnet is that he is going to be somebody coming into the last week of preseason. Kenneth Walker, still day-to-day. We're not necessarily sure what's going to happen. He's going to be rising up draft boards, and you're going to be drafting him as your RB3, maybe even RB4, with somebody that is going to easily be able to handle this workload. Coming out of UCLA, we know what Zach Charbonnet can do. He is a phenomenal pass-catching running back. He is a guy that knows how to handle the workload on the ground, who gets the goal line touches, and so much more. We've seen that out of Zach Charbonnet. We know what he can do. This is why we were all expecting him to be a second-round pick this past year in the NFL draft, but he gets drafted literally identical to the draft capital of Kenneth Walker. Now, when you look at the price of Kenneth Walker versus Zach Charbonnet, mind you, I was off of Zach Charbonnet early. I was really believing Kenneth Walker, but with the question marks of Kenneth Walker coming into this year now, is now boosted my confidence. Kenneth Walker currently going at the 4.8 in our latest mock drafts. I took Zach Charbonnet at the 9.7. He's my RB3 in this mock draft. And here are some running backs going around him, after him, or before him: Rashad Penny, AJ Dillon, Khalil Herbert, Brian Robinson. Now, once again, if Kenneth Walker is not healthy, and if Kenneth Walker is going to be lingering with this groin injury for a long time, we know that Zach Charbonnet can handle the workload on the ground, and specifically handle the workload in the air, which we all love in a PPR standpoint. So at the moment, I love Zach Charbonnet, the value that you can be getting him, and I truly do believe right now I took him at the 9.7 in 2 weeks, a week out of the NFL season, let's just say, and Kenneth Walker is not ready. I can easily see Zach Charbonnet being a 6th round, even 7th round draft pick coming into the season. So Zach Charbonnet, if you have any drafts close and near, maybe trying to get him at this value right now as your RB3 and or RB4 coming into this year. My third rookie that I love coming into this year, that has been rising a little bit in draft rankings, and a lot of people are starting to hear his name being called often, and that is Marvin Mims, wide receiver 68 according to Underdog. My wide receiver 60, and obviously the biggest thing for Marvin Mims, unfortunately, are the injuries that are happening on his team. Tim Patrick and KJ Hamler are gonna one towards ACL, the other one is no longer gonna be on this team with a lot of injury and health concerns. Now Marvin Mims steps up. You think of this offense, you think of what's going to be happening. Yes, Jerry Jeudy's still there. Yes, Courtland Sutton's still there, but Marvin Mims is there as well. If Courtland Sutton misses some time or Jerry Jeudy misses some time, Marvin Mims can easily step up to this opportunity. And to be completely honest with you, that Marvin Mims was somebody that I really loved. I truly believe he was my top 6 wide receiver, top 6, top 8 wide receiver coming out of my pre-draft rankings and pre-combine rankings. Actually, when I really think about it, I go pretty far back into that. Marvin Mims, I loved his tape. The only problem is he was playing with a lot of bad quarterbacks, and now with Russell Wilson coming in, a Super Bowl caliber quarterback here, I truly believe Marvin Mims could be a good option for Russell Wilson. He has the ability to play in the slot and on the outside. When he came out of Oklahoma, I think there is something special here, and you can get really versatile, especially with Sean Payton being on this offense. Marvin Mims, I think, is easily one of a late round last pickups in your draft that I really believe could bring your team success. Once again, hypothetically, you have 2 wide receivers, 4 flex spots. Marvin Mims could be easily fit in the second half of the season as that wide receiver 5 coming in, as we kind of saw with Greg Dolchich. Obviously, that was a different scenario, different position. But if somebody misses time and something's not happening, something's not meshing, Marvin Mims can easily step in. Once again, wide receiver 68 in the community, my wide receiver 60. All right, before I give you my last player, I told you how to wait until the video to get an honorable mention. I'll sneak him in right here really quick. That is John Mechie, wide receiver 74 in the community, my wide receiver 67. Once again, really quick coming into this year. Great that he's kind of recovering over his leukemia. He's getting a better quarterback in CJ Stroud. He's been playing with the first teams. We're probably going to see him in preseason and so much more. This is easy. We can easily see John Mechie be a slot wide receiver and or outside wide receiver for CJ Stroud, maybe a safety blanket, somebody he can grow with, who has the highest draft capital essentially on this team, outside, if I'm not mistaken, Nico Collins coming out in the 3rd round. I think John Mechie was a 2nd round pick, so actually it's the highest draft capital for this Texans offense. So I'm really excited about John Mechie. Once again, one of these late round draft picks that could have high potential. I know this is kind of cheating because it's not his rookie year, but let's be honest, he's going to be a rookie on the field because we haven't seen him this past year in 2022. So try and go out and get John Mechie. Okay, and my last player on this list, a rookie that I absolutely love, that honestly at points is getting undrafted in our mock drafts, and potentially could get undrafted in your drafts as well, that you could be picking off of waiver wires. That is Sam Laporta, tight end 18 right now, tight end 16 in my rankings. Sam Laporta, we really think of this offense, right? You think of what can happen here. James Williams is going to miss the first 6 weeks of the season. They bring in Jahmyr Gibbs, who is a great pass catching running back, I understand, but so is Sam Laporta coming out of Iowa. We saw what he can do. Obviously, he did miss some games. Caught 58 receptions, over 600 yards, 11.5 yards per carry, only 1 touchdown. But this is tight end you. Right, you think of George Kittle, who's coming out of Iowa, and so many other these tight ends have been successful, especially going to this high-powered offense, who head coach is a tight end first out of anything. And Dan Campbell now drafting Sam Laporta, they know how to utilize him. We saw what TJ Hawkinson was doing and has done in the past, in the early parts of the season before he got traded to the Minnesota Vikings. They went out and got their own tight end who was drafted in the second round of this year's draft. I see it's some phenomenal opportunities, at least in the first 6 weeks of the season. Hypothetically, let's say you weren't able to get a good tight end. Maybe you got a Dalton Schultz and you just wanted to get another tight end just to give you some depth. Sam Laporta is a good tight end that you can go out and get. Maybe you got Greg Dulcich, who I love as well, but want to get another backup. You go out and get Sam Laporta, and then maybe the first 6 weeks could bring in something. And now I know historically these tight ends don't really produce right away, but this is probably one of the best tight end classes we've seen in a long time here. And one of the tight ends landing in one of the best landing spots as well. Yes, I can easily have said Dalton Kincaid, but we all know that Dalton Kincaid is getting drafted, around the 10th, 9th round, where Sam Laporta is not. And I truly believe he can easily be, once again, somebody that can contribute to your team, whether it's in the second half of the season or the first 6 games of the season, and help you take your team to the next level. So once again, my top 4 players: Zay Flowers, Zach Charbonnet, Marvin Mims, Sam Laporta, and the honorable mention in John Mechie. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, which rookies you are drafting. I can easily have said Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jahmyr Gibbs, etc., but I really wanted to give you a different perspective of some of these players. And as always, go to flogfantasy.com/land, the best place to support what Zach and I are doing here. As get our rankings, articles, and bonus content, not only for myself and Zach, but all the other content creators on the site. And as always, it's all love.
Now that those idiots are done talking, who needs some rankings?
Hell yeah, I need some rankings.
Then use promo code LAND, LAND, for 30% off any membership at flockfantasy.com.
Oh.
It's so easy, even your grandma could scan that QR code right there.